Well, good morning. I know I look a hot mess. I haven't been up very long. And I'm very pregnant and I haven't taken off old makeup. So forgive me for that. I am 34 weeks. I'll be 35 weeks on Friday. I am measuring a week ahead. So funny thing about that, my original due date would have put me at 35 weeks today. I'm sorry, no, 36 weeks today. Like a week, basically a week ahead. But the sonographer changed my due date because of the size of the baby in the sonogram. It depends on what you want to go by. So my due date right now is September 12th, based off of what the sonographer said. My original due date was September 2nd. These Texas flies, man. And so, but I'm measuring a week ahead, and which isn't always like 100% either, but neither is measuring a baby in an ultrasound. And I feel further along. Baby number 4, I think I've kind of gotten the hang of it at this point. And so I am just I have it in my mind that I could go to September 12th, or it could come earlier and it not actually technically be early and it be on time, just depending on what due date you want to go by. At the end of the day, they're all an estimate. And on top of that, my last one, this one, taught me that it doesn't matter because you can go to almost 42 weeks. Yeah. She did not want to come. She was very comfortable. Very comfortable in there. Yes. Anyways. So, I'm very pregnant and very slow. I can't bend over. I can't see my feet. All of the things that you can think of, I'm experiencing. That being said, I have not mentioned on YouTube before. I know I've mentioned on other platforms. I'm ADHD, and it's really bad right now. The cramps have started, not like, obviously not like contractions, but Braxton Hicks, they're getting more frequent, more intense. Anyways, so ADHD, obviously, very bad right now, probably from the hormones, probably from lack of sleep, all that kind of stuff. I have chosen not to be like medicated for that, and so I have different ways that I kind of manage it. Primarily, like I take lion's mane every day, which I need to do. That does help. I can tell the difference. I'm just at that point where something's got to give, and I am finding myself in what they would call ADHD paralysis a lot. I need some sort of change, and the ADHD paralysis kicks in every day. And my go-to for that has always been, this isn't a new thing, it's always been essentially doom scrolling. Whether it's Facebook, TikTok, those are probably the two main. And it takes up so much of my time, and I realize as well, it gives me a lot of anxiety, and not like panics or anything like that, but it stresses me out because you see there's so much negativity online. If you know, you know. I can sit here and tell myself all day that it doesn't, like, I don't care, but when you're listening to somebody else's drama, you're letting that negativity in your mind. And then on top of that, last night, and this wasn't even drama necessarily, I follow a doula on TikTok, and I love her. And she was talking about I won't go into detail of it, but she was talking about a particular, like a legit case, where the parents ended up winning, I think like $6 million or something like that, after being, abused during her labor, and permanently permanently hurt, like body damaged by it. Anyways, I have not. I've only taken like one sip of my caffeine, so I apologize. So I commented on it, and I said I absolutely would not, like, if I was the mother in the middle of labor and somebody did that to me, I'd lose it, basically. Which is one reason why I have birth center and home births, because I don't want to be in a situation where I want to go off on somebody. My comment wasn't name calling or anything like that. Just stating how I would react if I was in that mother's situation. And apparently TikTok took that as a violation of community guidelines. I'm not sure exactly how. They don't actually specify how. Usually when things like that happen, when I get flagged for a comment that's really not bad, I just appeal it. But apparently this time, and usually they restore it, but apparently this time they decided not to. And then I looked, still kind of learning all of that back stuff on TikTok. And apparently they decided that it was an account violation. And I'm looking at like how many account violations you have to get before you're banned. And I'm like, that's not cool. Anyways, I can't control it. They have reached out to TikTok. I don't think that they're going to do anything. It is what it is. But here's the bigger thing that crossed my mind this morning, because I'm thinking to myself, I'm brainstorming, because that's what my ADHD brain does. How do I prevent that from happening again if they're going to flag you for just any old comment? I mean, I've seen much worse on here that doesn't get removed. I've reported things that should have been removed and weren't. And so it's one of those situations that now I feel like if I comment on anything could be flagged for any reason, even if it doesn't go against community guidelines. So it makes me scared to comment on anything. And so I'm like, what am I supposed to do? How do I keep this from happening again? And so I just had the thought, and I think it's, I do believe it's the Holy Spirit kind of like trying to teach me. I admit, when I'm doing stage scrolling, whatever, and I come across drama or somebody being stupid, I have a tendency to police the situation. It's just my personality. That's not always a bad thing. Part of it is advocating. It's a good trait and a bad trait. That's just the truth. And so sometimes I get caught up in debating and stuff like that, and it takes up a lot of my time. It's not necessarily that I'm always wrong, although there's probably times I am. It's about how I'm utilizing my time, and am I stewarding that the way that God wants me to? Because we only have so much time in a day, and I have 3 kids, and I have another one on the way, and I have a farmstead, and lots of animals to take care of, and other aspirations and desires. And so how am I going to get to that if I'm wasting time on debating people? My thought is, yes, TikTok is the one who flagged it last night, but I think God is trying to tell me something. He's trying to tell me, stop commenting on things, stop scrolling. These things are not fruitful. They are not adding anything to your life. I would say YouTube doesn't count because it does add to my life. I get very educated through YouTube because of the things that I do choose to watch on there. And so I'm like, okay, so if I'm not supposed to do this, where's the balance? Because I can't just like cut out Facebook and TikTok entirely because I'm trying to build platforms here. I have a showcase on TikTok. I have an Amazon storefront that I need to get on top of. I'm trying to do the YouTube thing, and then Facebook is more for the local stuff. So if I list anything for sale, whatever it is, I need to be able to be in those local groups to get the word out, especially now that we live here in the middle of nowhere. That being said, I had the thought, maybe the rule for myself should be, I'm no longer scrolling. Like, stay off the For You page, stay off the news feeds, that sort of thing. Like, I do still want to support, you know, my friends and stuff on here. And so maybe I just go straight to their profile, or I'll stay on the friends side of like TikTok or whatever, and, you know, do my support for them real quick and then move on. But don't click on the For You page or anything like that. That would actually open up time for me to, like, one, edit these videos, because these are not, it's time consuming editing. And then, especially since I say and so much. If you're annoyed by it, you're not the only one. I am too. I think for the next 30 days, this is my plan for the next 30 days, I'm not going to be scrolling on anything. I'm just going to be posting. I have a lot of products to review. I have a lot of recipes I want to record. I have a lot of ideas I want to share. Things with the homestead I want to share. This one is coming quickly. If I stay off of the scrolling, I can focus on these things and actually probably post more in the long run. That's difficult for me because, number one, I am ADHD, but number two, it can make, and I know this might seem weird to some, I don't know, maybe it's a millennial issue, because I grew up, you know, I was on MySpace, like, you know, the beginning of all social media. It can make me feel like I'm lonely. And I mean that in the sense of, there's this sense of community on the internet, like you're in a crowd, virtually, obviously. And so when you step away from that, you're no longer in that crowd. Makes you feel like you're missing things, but you're really not. I tell myself these things, like, you're not missing anything. It's more stressful than it is positive. It's not really beneficial, you know, so on and so forth. I tell myself these things, but I do think it's an addiction. And so, anyways, I could go down a whole rabbit hole with that. Next 30 days, commitment, no scrolling, which is going to be difficult because it is such a habit, it's second nature. So I know I'm going to mess up a few times, but I know over time it'll get easier. And then maybe by the 30 days, and it may be longer than that, because I may hit 30 days and then the baby's like, I'm coming, or, you know, whatever, and then I'm not going to be on my phone much at all. But I may reach that 30 days or whatever and not even have a desire to scroll. And that would be cool. I'm okay with that. And then I think my second commitment, I'm not really good at reading books. And I know that seems weird. I'm not a bookworm necessarily. I'll read articles and stuff like that all day. Reading out of a book is difficult for me, probably mainly because I have dysgraphia and dyslexia, so it's just hard for me, and ADHD obviously, and so it's hard for me to just visually focus on a book. I have several books that I really want to read and really want to get through, and so I think that I'm going to at least commit to getting through one of those books, maybe two. We shall see. My commitment for the next 30 days, I'm going to recap one more time. Severely ADHD, almost due with my baby. The doom scrolling is a problem. I've got a violation on TikTok and I don't want to be banned. And God is telling me it's time to step back, step away from having to comment on everything and correct people and police, whatever you want to call it, debate. It's not fruitful. It's not giving anything good or bringing anything positive into my life. It's an addiction that needs to ultimately be broken. And so, next 30 days, no scrolling, focus on posting only, and maybe by the end of the 30 days, I won't even want to scroll ever again. We shall see. And on top of that, we don't even know if this app is going to be here. So there's that. Which is one reason I'm really trying to focus a little bit more, and I haven't done good so far, on getting YouTube videos done. Which is why my camera is now set up to the side instead of up and down. That being said, if you want to continue following me and don't know if this app is going to be around, go follow me on YouTube, because it's Living Water Farmstead, because I think that's ultimately where I'm going to transition to. Not to mention, I'm better at longer videos. I wouldn't say better, I just ramble a lot. But I prefer longer videos over the shorter ones. And when it comes to all the baking and stuff that I do want to do, those are just going to have to be longer videos for me. All the farmstead stuff, longer videos. I know you can do a 10-minute video on TikTok, but they just don't seem to do very well. Also, I just want to show you this. Those are blueberry muffins made with einkorn flour. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Yesterday I got so much cooking done. I even prepped today's dinner for the crock pot. Made the blueberry muffins and everything. And that was because I was off of the internet. I mean, I was listening to YouTube videos. But I wasn't scrolling on anything. And so I was able to get this done. And we're at a place where we have to start, I have to start making food from scratch for our health and for our finances, because it's just too expensive to buy everything, especially with an expanding family. And on top of that, the stuff that's in a lot of our foods is making me feel like I'm starting to have some repercussions from that health-wise. And so I need to change. Like, I can't eat the blueberry muffins from the store. One bite makes me feel like trash. But I can eat a whole bag of these. Probably not. Probably shouldn't do that. But you know what I mean. They're healthier. And I can be like, I need that. And so, anyways, if I get off the stinking internet, I can actually focus on doing things like this more, which is really truly a desire of mine. I like baking, minus the fact that I'm so pregnant right now, my ankles are swelling bad. But that's besides the point. In general, I love baking. I love trying new things. And so hopefully this little 30-day thing will get me to where I want to be. Anyways, I'm going to finish my caffeine. I'm going to eat myself a muffin. And then I'm going to go tend to my animals and look at the list I wrote down of things I need to do, which I think is primarily laundry. Such a joy. My favorite thing to do. No, really. Y'all have a blessed day.